Hi guys, welcome back to another SUPboarder independent review, and this time we're going to be looking at the JP Surf Slate. The Surf Slate we've been testing is the smallest one, 7.2x26, which comes in at 91 litres, but they also do two bigger sizes, a 7.2x28, which is 103 litres, and a 7.6x29, which is 115 litres. The retail price of the Pro version is 1,649, and they also do a wood version in one size only of the 7.6x29, and that retails at 1,199. So the specifications for the 7.2 model, which is this one here, 7'2" long, 26 inches wide, 3.9 inches thick or 100 millimeters, 91 litres, and this weighs 6 kg. So JP say that Surf Slate delivers unbelievable performance in a super compact shape. And what sort of conditions should be riding this in? Generally, when the waves are a bit mushier, you need a bit more power, so probably head and a half size and down, it will work really well in the waist sort of shoulder height sort of size waves. Okay, so that's all the catalogue bumps, that's what the JP say. This is what the SUPboarder verdict is of this board. First of all, let's look at the finish of the board and the quality of it. Really nice deck pad, super grippy, really nice under your feet. Whether you're in boots, obviously it's going to be fine, but barefoot it's lovely. Actually comes with a mass foot insert, so if you want to windsurf, I think that's from the JP days, with the windsurfing based company, they have to put a mass track on. We didn't use it windsurfing, but it would be interesting to try. Got a nice deep carry handle. You can pick up one-handed, offset inside, nice and neat. Like the way it's all quite nice and neat and quite small on here, so that's all quite nice. Nice deck pad through us with a nice kicker at the back here. Graphics are quite funky. Good to have a GoPro mount at the front. All we've just done is attach the safety leash point there for your GoPro, and then you can have selfies all day. Not a madman for the selfies, but it was great to do the videos out there so you can see some of these shots using that GoPro mount at the front. Okay, on the bottom of the board, I'll turn it over. Comes with a quad setup as standard, so that's 4 fins, but it also has a 5-fin box as well, so you can do it in a thruster fin box. The board shape itself, if you go at the front, it's got a very slight channel here at the nose, which pushes the water back. Relatively flat, a small bit of concave, which is going to hold the water and give you a bit more lift. Through to the tail, still a small bit of concave, but generally the board from here to here is pretty much flat, with a slight bit of V in this channel at the tail here. All that's doing basically is making the board as fast as possible, and also while having the parallel rails, which from this section here along to here, the more parallel the rails are, the faster your board is. The first thing we noticed with the Surf Slate when we stood on it is actually how stable it is for its size. Because it's basically very parallel rails right to the tail and right to the nose, you've still got quite a bit of volume up here with this section where the board will generally be coming away, and at the back, a pintail board, the board will be slicing away here, and the pintail, she's got quite a bit more volume here, which lets you give you a lot more stability. So it actually makes it ride and feel a little bit stabler than you would think. Okay, so we've used this board in the quad setup and the thruster setup. The quad setup is very quick and very locked in. To be honest, my liking, way too locked in. You go to drive a turn and it sort of sticks and it really wants to go straight incredibly quick. If you want to go down the line and start doing little aerials and stuff like that, that's the sort of setup you want. But to be honest, the quad setup I found far too locked in and very directional. This is probably due obviously to the 4 fins very close to the rail, and actually having a very square rail at the tail here makes the board very hard to turn because it basically just wants to stay on that track the whole way. Put this board in the thruster setup, ooh, it's a different animal. I was amazed the difference of this board about when you put a thruster setup. Thruster fin at the back, take 2 sides out, suddenly transforms the board totally. Much more drivey, much easier to get the bottom turn, much easier to redirect up to the lip, really smooth on the cutbacks, and very easy on the re-entries and floaters. This sort of board will flatterize your surfing no end. Because of the width in the nose and the width in the tail, it makes it very easy to do long drawn out manoeuvres and feel very smooth and flowing. So should you be looking at this board to have a go on? It depends on what sort of surfing level you are. If you're quite confident and you've got an 8.5, 9.5, you can paddle in every wave you want. You can go left, you can go backside quite happily, doing nice little bottom turns, nice little off tops, nothing extreme, just nice little ups and down the face. This is the sort of board you can easily have a go on and have a look at. As I say, if you're on a 120 litre board, you'd be surprised, you might even be able to go and have a hard go on the 103 litre version of this. Very stable for its size. At the same time, if you're at the sort of intermediate to advanced sort of level surfing, this board will also work really well alongside your already probably existing Proa sort of pinner tail ranges board you've got. Very good in the choppy, mushy waves, really good for those onshore days when you just want to get out and make the most out of it, get as much speed as possible, hit a few aerials and do some fun things like that. A really good fun board in the surf. Is there any negatives or downsides to the JP Surf Slate? It would be really nice to see a ray EVA pad on the centre of the board, or the kicker where they would call it, and that's so you could get the arch of your foot over it when you're surfing. Because the board is quite wide at the tail and all the deck pad is really comfy but it's all the same, sometimes you just don't know where your foot is without even looking down before you set yourself up with a bottom turn. So that would just locate your foot a little bit easier, and then you have a reference point for your foot. That would be a really good idea, and it would make the board just a little bit sweeter. This board works really, really well in the thruster setup. So thruster setup, yes. Quad setup, don't really think it works. Is it value for money? All the JP Pro boards are about the same sort of price. Definitely not the most expensive boards in the market, and definitely not the cheapest boards, so it sits nicely in the mid-range value price point. SUPboarder verdict for the JP Surf Slate. In a thruster setup, this board is an absolute beast that you have to have a go on if you are riding 120 to 95 litre boards. Definitely one to use in some small mushy waves to get you out on those winter days where you just don't think it looks fun.